So I am absolutely fascinated. Today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Hocus Pocus 2. There are spoilers for Hocus Pocus 2 in this. Today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Hocus Pocus 2. And we're going to talk about power. How do you hold power? Hocus Pocus 2 shows it. All right, so first of all, Hocus Pocus 2 has a spell called Magic of Maxima, right? And Winifred Sanderson is rolling hard as a witch, as she do, right? And she's like, oh, hey, this is our second time back. We got this night. So the Sanderson sisters are brought back when a virgin lights a black candle under the moon, right? And then they get one night back, right? So the Sanderson sisters were dead, right? And now they get resurrected partially for a single night if a virgin lights a black candle under the moon, right? And I think there has to be some special stuff about the black candle. It's got to be like magical. I don't think it's any candle will do, right? So if you have this special candle and you're a virgin and you light it under the moon, you bring the Sanderson sisters back for one night, okay? And the reason why I say that is, like, don't sleep on Hocus Pocus 2, man. It's got a hard magic system. If you don't know the difference between a hard magic system and a soft magic system, my channel is not going to be helpful to you. Like that's a basic understanding to be here, all right? But I think a lot of you read some Brandon Sanderson and know the difference, and read some other author and know the difference between a hard magic system and a soft magic system, all right? So Hocus Pocus 2 is a hard magic system. Okay, it's got rules, right? And they write the story by the rules. That's one of the reasons why I love it, right? So Winifred Sanderson rolls up, and she has a spell book called Book. It's literally a sentient book. It's got an eyeball. It looks at you, flaps its pages. It gets excited. It gets sad, right? It's a sentient spell book. Pretty dope, right? So Winifred Sanderson has a relationship with an object, which is a magical item, right? It's a sentient magical item, but it's also an object. It's not a living thing, right? Like, oh wait, I guess it's literally a living thing, right? It's a living thing, right? Like, it's not a living being, right? It's a living thing, right? So she has this relationship with Book, which is the spell book, right? And she is told by a witch when she's 16 years old. Winifred Sanderson is told by this evil witch who lives in the woods and also eats children. She's like, here's the spell book. I'm actually going to give you the spell book, right? And you're going to be one of the most powerful witches ever. But this spell book, the only thing you shouldn't do is don't cast Magic of Maxima. And the reason why is it doesn't end well, and Book doesn't like it, right? So, Winifred Sanderson, right? She going to do what you tell her not to do. Like, come on, like, bet, like, done. And that's what she does. She casts Magic of Maxima, right? Well, it's really hard to cast, and she doesn't cast it right the first time. And so Winifred Sanderson makes Sarah Sanderson all-powerful and makes Mary Sanderson all-powerful, right? And so she makes her sisters all-powerful, and her sisters literally start shooting these crazy powerful bolts of magic out of their finger, like, I'm powerful, I'm all-powerful now, right? And actually both of the sisters realize that Winifred Sanderson doesn't have maximum power. Spell didn't work for her, right? So the two of them start to taunt her a little bit and go, hey, look, we have magic, we have all power, right? We are in. And Sarah rolls on her, Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm getting that sister's name wrong. I cannot remember that sister's name. But the Sarah Jessica Parker sister, and then the Kathy Najimy sister, who is Mary, they are, so at that point, they are, these other two sisters are all powerful, and Winifred Sanderson is not, right? And so they start taunting her, and they're in the woods, and they're running around, they're shooting their, and then something incredible happens. Winifred Sanderson says, stop. She just says it. Says, that's enough, right? And then she immediately tasks them, right? Now, I've been around this ain't my first rodeo. I've been on this planet for 52 years, right? And I've read some books, and I know what tasking is. If you don't know, like, if you ever meet somebody and you sit down at a table with them, and the first thing they do is they say, "Pass me the salt," and they do not say "please," and you do it, you've just been tasked. It's a power move, right? And the reality is, she tasks them. I recognize it because I've seen it and I watch for it in life, right? Like, like a lot of people don't understand how power is gained and controlled and maintained, right? And so Winifred Sanderson does not have all power. The spell didn't work. Her sisters literally have maximum magical power, but Winifred Sanderson says, "Stop, do what I say." And Winifred Sanderson is powerful not because she has the power, but because she says she has the power and she can get others to agree. That's true power. And since you are supposed to be putting non-player characters who are powerful in front of your player characters, you need to understand power, right? And you can learn, and I'm telling you, Hocus Pocus 2 is every Dungeon Master content. If you're going to know how to process a villain, there ain't none better in the world than Winifred Sanderson since Darth Vader. She's just super complex and extremely well written and perfectly performed. Winifred Sanderson is the modern, Walter White. She is the template for a villain because her writing is near perfect and her execution on the screen is near perfect because of Bette Midler. That's my humble opinion. If you're a Dungeon Master, you got to watch Hocus Pocus. There's a lot to learn there. There's a lot to learn about crafting a villain. There's a lot to learn about power, right? And if you want to take your table to the next level, you need to understand power. That's my humble opinion. I'm waiting to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.